Hi guys, in this video I'm going to discuss ways our minds and bodies break down from stress and what to do about it. So here we go. Now, from the never-ending tasks that we do to running errands and doing everything that we're doing, kind of muscling through life, can be very daunting and overwhelming. And if you feel that way, you're not alone. Many people feel very stressed and they're suffering from the ramifications of stress. So I want to go over the three types of responses to stress. There's fight, flight, and freeze, which all are defense mechanisms to relieve ourselves from the attack of stress. They're not always healthy, so let's go through them. When a stress response takes place, we sometimes go into fight mode, where we feel like we're pushed in a corner and we got our gloves on, ready to attack. People can become super conflictual, very angry, maybe even violent when there is overwhelming amount of stress. So that is fight. We also have a stress response talking about flight, where you kind of leave the scene of stress. Avoidant personalities, avoidant people kind of don't address the stress and just, distract themselves and do something completely different. And then we have freeze, where stress actually is so paralyzing that we physically and mentally just freeze up, exactly what it sounds like, and we can't move. So the whole goal of the defense mechanisms from attack of stress is to achieve homeostasis. And what homeostasis is a complete balance, of emotional, mental, physical homeostasis, where you feel balanced and leveled out. So that's homeostasis. And that's what we're trying to achieve here when we are really thinking about stress, when we're suffering from stress, is how to attain homeostasis. So let me tell you a little bit of a breakdown of the different types of stress. We have acute or short-term stress. And this is an example of this. The best example I can give of this is kind of like test anxiety, where it's like right there. It's right there in the moment. You feel it's short-term, it's acute, it's right there. And then we have chronic long-term stress, which an example of this is like kind of like worrying about your finances, worrying about your bills, kind of worrying about things that may have not have happened yet. So that's chronic and that's long-term. Another type of stress, which is actually a good thing, is E-stress, which is positive stress to motivate. Everybody needs a little bit of stress, so we don't become complacent or we don't become, status quo, to kind of get us motivated, kind of get us moving. So positive stress actually can be helpful in terms of getting stuff done, things to do on your to-do list that prevents being overwhelmed. So stress is necessary. A little stress is necessary for us to get going, get our days started, to get a little bit out of bed and kind of motivate us to keep moving. But let me tell you why stress is such a mental and physical killer. According to the APA, American Psychological Association, here's why stress is such a dangerous killer. And it's very, very important for us to really wrap our heads around this, because it's very important, because there's a physiological and, response to it. So during a stress response, our bodies are pumping so much adrenaline through our bloodstream. And this produces our hearts to pump faster and harder. Vital organs go through on alert, causing our physical system a major hit and even kind of shut down a little bit. And this results into heart attacks, strokes, when we have this type of attack on our physical system. Our physical system takes a major hit and we end up in urgent care, we end up in the hospital, we end up, really suffering physically as well as mentally when stress does attack. But I also want to talk about prevention. And these are just small things that we can do on a day-to-day basis to kind of keep us homeostasis from day to day and being mindful about it. So making some major life changes, and I'm talking about our diet, our nutrition and our health physically. The foods that we eat really dictate how we feel and how sluggish or energetic we feel. Different types of exercises. I would recommend kind of tweaking and modifying your exercise regime to kind of have muscle confusion. If you're kind of complacent and maybe plateauing physically, maybe changing it up a little bit. Don't be afraid of change. and modifying it a little bit so you are experiencing different forms of movement, different types of exercises. This next thing that I'm going to talk about is extremely important. People really underestimate the value of sleep. Sleep hygiene is very important. If you do not get a good, I would say 7 to 8 hours, then we notice ourselves, I know I do, notice myself changing. I get more irritable, I get more hungry, I try to keep myself up by eating more when you lack sleep. So sleep hygiene is really important. And it just makes you feel good when you wake up and you feel rested, ready to start the day. Definitely making time for yourself in a calm way to calm your mind from many people will have these rumination and racing thoughts, and just trying to calm yourself down. If it's doing something intentional by listening to something, reading something to kind of intentionally calm your mind from rumination and racing thoughts. And the last thing, of course, is definitely if you feel like you're unable to manage this and it's becoming too overwhelming for too long, you really want to speak to a professional, counselor, therapist, social worker, psychologist to kind of help with this process. Definitely, this are the ways our mind and body break down stress are very different, and this video talks a little bit about what to do about it when it does happen. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm a mental health professional. My name is Dr. Michelle Finneran, and I'm here for you if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like you are stressed. You know, you can contact me on my website and we can have a chat. We can discuss things to kind of help more preventative, strategic moves to kind of break down. Thanks, guys.